Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today what we'll do is take a look at a whole bunch of different wedding cake toppers. What makes my company unique is that we do almost everything in-house. This means that when it comes to basically any kind of project, your material options are infinite, basically. For instance, here we have, these are all the same cake topper design. This one is acrylic with paint filling. This is acrylic with color changing. This is just standard acrylic. And this is wood. So what we'll do today is take a look at each one of these ones, these custom cake toppers being cut out and engraved and fiber color changed using our laser. And in between each one, I'll just explain what are some of the variances or options that you have in between the different materials. So right now what we'll do, we'll focus on the wooden one and how that one was made. And now you understand how this here was made. This is a custom design. We customize it to every one of our customers, so no, your last name doesn't have to be Canton to receive this. It can be Mr., Mrs., Mrs. It can be anybody, any way that you want as well. Now with wood, there's a lot of different options. You have plywood, and just plywood alone, you have birch, you have maple, you have pine. There's a whole bunch of different plywoods. Then you go into your hardwoods. Then you go to your softwoods. Then you go to your engineered woods. So something like you would see maybe on a floor tile, like those wooden floor tiles. We can also engrave something into that or custom cut it to shape using either a CNC laser, which is behind me here, or a CNC router. So because we have a number of different tools and a number of different assets, we can customize things out of basically any material that you have at hand. So this is wood. Let's take a look at the next one, being paint-filled acrylic. now you understand how this here was done. What the laser did is made basically the inside parts, and then with the mask over it, then we spray paint it with any color that you want. In this case I chose white. And then as you can see, it follows the outline. And it's quite incredible when you think about it. This and this are the same design, but they couldn't look any more different or react differently. For wooden cake toppers, normally we make 2 of them. The reason is it usually gets gunky with all the sugars from the cake. While with acrylic, we could just make 1 and you're fine, or you could have a couple of them done. They don't all have to be the same either. They could be different variations. So you could have 1 cake topper for the reception, 1 cake topper for the event, and another cake topper for some gags or whatever else you want. So again, you see 2 different versions of a cake topper. Now this is acrylic. With acrylic paint filling, you have basically infinite color variations there. And with the acrylic itself, this here is 2 millimeters thick, so it's even thinner than 1/8. This can be basically any color, any shade as well. So let's say you wanted this acrylic to be red with a paint fill of white, or you wanted this acrylic to be white with a paint fill of red, or any other color that you want. We can do that. The other advantage we have with acrylic, or because we can do this stuff in-house, is we can make these things at different sizes. So let's say at your table you have this one here in your cake. We can make one 3 times bigger that actually sits on your table, or something that goes behind the table. So you have a lot of options with acrylic alone. Now what we'll do, we'll take a look at fiber color changing acrylic. I realize it's hard to see in the video, but this is actually done with 2 different laser sources. If you use just a CO2 laser source on acrylic, you end up just going into it with a bit of depth, and then it needs paint filling, generally speaking. With our fiber tube, which is what we use for metal and color changing plastic, we actually change the surface qualities of the plastic itself, just as if it was annealed stainless steel. And what this does is create the contrast. Now this is not printed. You cannot remove this. It's actually the acrylic itself that has its color changed at the surface. And if you feel it with your finger, there's also a little bit of depth. So the advantage doing this is that you could wash it, because basically there's nothing coming off because there's nothing added to it. While if you're trying to wash this thing here, even if we seal it with acrylic seal or something like that, it will slowly come off anyways. It's just the way paint is with acrylic. And this one here, normally what we do, we seal it as well, just to protect it. So going back to this one here, this doesn't work on too many acrylics because you need the contrast. So if this is white acrylic and we fiber color change it white, you end up white on white, which is a really, really expensive option that doesn't show very good results. To give you an idea, doing something like this or doing something like this one here goes 10 times faster. This is an incredibly slow industrial process. So we don't do too much of this. Generally what we do for weddings are wooden, or we do acrylic with color changing, just maybe some components here and there, but generally it's all paint filled. What we'll do now is look at just the solid acrylic. Okay, and now you know how this here was done. Now it's kind of hard to see, but it's actually transparent acrylic. The advantage with acrylic is that you can have different levels of transparency. So this is completely transparent, while this one here has maybe a 50% opacity to it. So again, that's another advantage of using acrylic. You have different opacities with different materials. So this can be red, and it's semi-transparent. And you might be saying, well, why do I want something that's semi-transparent that's hard to see? Well, think of it this way. You have paint filling, which you could put into here. So you could have white paint filling in here, and you can maybe have semi-transparent red or pink or whatever color acrylic that you want for your project. And it just creates another little level of like, wow, that's cool. I haven't seen that before. I've yet to find transparent wood. So wood is always pretty much solid. But we're able to do mix and match because, again, we do everything in-house here. So let's say you had this here, which looks pretty cool, and you had inlays. So instead of paint filling, we actually put pieces of wood, or the other way around. We could totally do that. So the options for cake toppers at CNCKing.com are essentially endless. What we need to know first are the names and the size of the cake topper that you want, and then your material preferences. And then from there, we'll go down and we'll figure out which one best suits your application. It's the same thing with wood. Wood, you can get it in 1/8, you get it in 1/2 inch, you can get it in 1 inch. There's just so many variations. But the nice thing is you don't need to know about all of this. We need to know all of this. So what we do generally is, here's a proposal, here's the cost and the breakdown, the A, B, C, D, which one do you like most? Generally, we also do a little bit of material testing to give you an idea. So we won't cut this whole thing out. We'll do like a little section of it and send you off some photographs and maybe some videos so you can see, well, yeah, that one looks kind of cool. Let me see that one in full size. The other advantage that we have is that, again, we do everything in-house, which means that if you have 2 or 3 weddings going on at the same time, let's say you're getting married at the same time as a sibling or something like that, and you have 2 different names, it doesn't really matter to us. The price per volume still goes down. So if you get 1 done or 2 done or 3 done, you get a better price for 3 instead of 1, even if the names and all the information are completely different. And the same goes with materials. We have inventory of a whole bunch of different materials, from veneers through to acrylic, laminates, which is not even covered here. You could also get these done in stainless steel if you wanted to. So you have a lot of options. So contact us and let us know which options that you prefer, and then we'll go from there. I'll see you in the next video.